All right, guys, it's January 2024, and I just picked up my boat from Integrated Boat Works. Never started that motor. It's break-in day. 2024 ProXS 4-stroke Mercury motor. Gonna break it in today real quick, just show you the video how simple and easy it is to break in these 4-stroke Mercuries. All right, so I'm in the boat. I've got the boat back down to the boat ramp, but I'm still attached to my truck. So I'm sitting here at the ramp. There's my truck. And the first thing I like to do every morning, but even more particularly the first time I ever start my Mercury, is I want to let it warm up. So I'm gonna start this motor. Oh, she sounds good. That's the first time I've ever started that motor. So I'm gonna trim it down just a little bit. Make sure it's able to spit water. Don't trim it down so much so that you submerge the water spout thing. So let that coolant run through there. And I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna watch my coolant temperature right here. And I'm gonna let that motor warm up until it hits 140 degrees. That's typically the thermostat breakover range. So I'm gonna let it warm up, get around 140 degrees before I ever put this thing in gear. I wanna make. All right, so that literally took about 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes tops. Motor got above 140 degrees, thermostat kicked on, and it came back down to 140. So I'm comfortable putting this boat in gear now. I've given that motor a chance to warm up. So I'm gonna back up, tie to this dock, and show you step 2. All right, back in the boat, all you need is this right here. Make sure your batteries are charged up. And I should mention, that's a new Epoch lithium cranking battery. Lithium cranking battery. New technology, awesome, weighs 20-something pounds, and has cold cranking amps. Fired that motor right up, it's gonna do it all day long. Anyway, you're gonna need charged batteries. Make sure you got fuel in a brand new boat. You might forget these things. And then you need the operation and maintenance manual. And flip to page 54. That's all you need. It's literally 2 sentences. I'm gonna read it to you, and it's really simple. So right here, engine break-in procedure. Failure to do so, don't do that, don't fail to. Step 1 of a 2-step process. For the first 2 hours of operation, run the engine at varied throttle, settings up to 4,500 RPMs, okay? Or at 3/4 throttle, and I believe that is put in there in case you don't have an easy way to read your RPMs. Maybe you're trying to have to guess what your RPMs are, but if you have these SmartCraft gauges like I'm gonna show you, you don't have to guess. So varied throttle up to no more than 4,500 RPMs. And this is still part of step 1. So varied throttle up to 4,500 RPMs, and run it at full throttle for approximately 1 minute every 10 minutes. All right, so there's 60 seconds in a minute. So there's 600 seconds in 10 minutes. So every 600 seconds, go wide open for 60 seconds. But you want to try to keep those RPMs down. So keep the motor trimmed all the way down. And that's how you'll keep the RPMs down, but still be able to put your foot into the throttle for that 60 seconds. You're gonna do that for 2 hours. Just vary it off and on, 4,500, put your foot into it for 1 minute every 10 minutes. Step 2. For the next 8 hours of operation, avoid continuous operation at full throttle for more than 5 minutes at a time. So 2 hours you vary it, the next 8 hours, you're gonna be able to run wide open throttle for up to 5 minutes and then pull back off of it and run it back down again at, that's 4,500 RPMs or something like that. So you can even fish a tournament like that. You can run 5 miles in 5 minutes. So literally, the first 2 hours, go out, do that on your own, go fishing for a little bit, wait till you get the first 2 hours, and then you can go fishing. But let me show you how I use these SmartCraft gauges that are on this VX20 Vexus, and it really comes with all the new Mercuries, I believe. So anyway, let me flip this around. All right, so due to the polarizing of it, it's gonna flash off and on like that. But they've got a whole bunch of smart screens on here. And so if you get out of this, you go to exit, this is the main menu on your smart screen. You've got these full screen options, which are just a big screen that just show RPMs, volts. That's all that's on this one. You can set up to see different ones, but what you want to do is you want to go down to this propulsion /ST. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you some screens that have a little more data on it. So this one's hours of motor, battery power, RPMs. The one I like to use is this one here. I've got RPMs, I've got speed, I've got my coolant temperature. So I want to look at that here. Now, the hours on the Vexus, I've got it set up over here. You can cycle through a bunch of stuff over here. Temperature, battery power, amount of fuel I got left. But I want to have hours on over here. So there. So now I know I'm starting at 0.3 hours. So when that says 2.3 hours, and I have been varying my speed at 4,500, like step 1 says, then I know I can move on to step 2. So I'm going to keep an eye on those hours on my right screen. I'm going to keep an eye on my RPMs, and I like having that coolant temperature up. It's a brand new motor. I just want to make sure everything's good to go. And so I'm going to look back and forth between those two screens for the next 2 hours and get step 1 taken care of. All right, I'm about an hour into breaking in this motor, and it's sunny. Had to get my coasters out. It's cold. I'm wearing my insulated frog talk bibs. Probably need to get a jacket, but I've also been graphing and checking out my new electronics, and the new HDS Pros are seeing lots of bait and lots of fish. I can't handle it. I got to throw my trolling motor down for just a minute. So there's a step 3 in the middle of step 1 and step 2, and it's stop and fish for a minute to just stay sane while you're out here on a beautiful day, not fishing, breaking in your Mercury. So I'm an hour in, I gotta make a cast. Sorry, had to do it. Nice crappie on the new Bobby Garland live roamer minnow. This thing's pretty cool. There you go. There's the live roamer minnow. I'm trying to self film this. You see it? Isn't it beautiful? Blue and chartreuse. Oh yeah, that's gonna go in the box. You gotta check out the live well. That's part of breaking in the motor, right? Okay. I caught 2 now, so I probably got to get back into breaking the motor in now, but I only need a few more for dinner. Additionally, so while I'm running down the lake, I'm using my Lowrance electronics, so when I do that 60-second, 1 minute wide open throttle, I can just look at my graph, look at the time, and get exactly 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds. If you're like me, you're kind of OCD, you want to do exactly what it says, so that's another cool tool that you got right there with your Lowrance electronics. Try to keep track on your 1 minute increments at wide open throttle. I'm kind of ready to get back to fishing already. I actually caught seven keeper crappie in like 7 drops, so it's hard not to fish. All right, finally. My hours say 2.3 hours, so I've got my 2 hours of break-in time. Now I move to step 2. Now, for the next 8 hours, no more than 5 minutes, wide open throttle, as fast as this boat can go, and then shut back down and vary your speed. And then you can vary it, 5 minutes at a time like that. So go 5 on, 5 off, 5 on, 5 off, and that works great for me. So I hope this helps you guys break in your Mercury ProXS. I'm gonna get back to putting some hours on this thing and catching a few crappie while I do it. Click like, click subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.